We're working. We're in the lab, and we're gonna make sure this happens as soon as possible.
Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
All right. We are back. We are large and in charge, and ITL is here. It's Tuesday night. It's wonderful. It was a fantastic week of football. We have a lot to cover today. Season 5, Episode 20, big number 20 this week, Week 15 edition. ITL's way too early. NFL Pick'em. We got the usual guys on today. And, of course, we start off with the new sponsor shout-out. Join the Sport Gene today. Hashtag What's in Your DNA is our slogan to start off our new sponsorship title in the Sport Gene. I am your host, Ernest Silva. Add Into the Lab Pod is where you're watching tonight, or where you're listening on your phone, or where you're watching the replay anywhere around your house. We appreciate you for being here. We're excited for tonight's show. We have a lot to cover. Let's first go around the room. He joined us in Week 3. He hasn't left. He's become a usual sports scientist. He's from the Last Call podcast. Chris Connery. What's up, Chris?
Not much. And Ernest, I am hoping, cross my fingers, that if there is this soiree this weekend with a certain Taylor Swift coming to Foxborough and maybe an engagement announcement, that I will somehow be able to sneak my way in past security, get a selfie, and I can give it to you so that way you can go, hey, I know somebody who knows Taylor Swift.
That would be awesome.
It's a
What's
long
the
shot.
likelihood of
I'm
that?
still
What are the
working out
odds
the
of that?
details of how to rappel into the building and dress myself up as a security guard, but I'm working on it. I'm just working.
That makes sense. Well, that would be awesome if we get that update. We have a lot to talk about with you this week about the Cowboys, Chris. So you just stick around and you just hang out for a bit. The other person that's joined us is the other Chris. C-Squared's here. Chris Borak at Clutch City 52. What's up, my man?
Hey, glad to be back, guys. It was a tough weekend. My boy CJ's head is hurting. But a lot happening in the NFL. A lot of playoff teams lost this weekend. A lot of upsets. So a lot to talk about. Glad to be on the show.
There is a lot to talk about, Borak. We're definitely going to talk Cowboys with you as well later. We had a long dispute. I do want to say kudos to the 10 of you out there who slipped into my DMs like I challenged you to. And I put my money where my mouth is. I made bets with all 10 of you that the Cowboys would cover the spread of 6.5 this past weekend. And I appreciate 9 of you paying up. I'm still waiting on one, and Borak and I will take pictures at our dinner later on this week. Or at least sometime once I'm cleared. For those who don't know, my son has RSV, so I am like in containment mode here at the house. And so that's why Londo's not in studio, but he is on your screen. If he puts his hand in the air, you'll recognize his hand. Londo joining us. There's the hand. Londo, my man, how's it going, brother? So we got our first mute of the night, Londo. We got our first mute. We can't hear you. That's okay. We're gonna come back to you.
Londo.
Mute from the producer. Wow, that's
There
the
it is.
first.
There it is. What's
No,
up,
I'm
buddy?
doing
How you
great.
doing?
Just joining you all from my own home and just ready to talk some football. I had a great week. And how about them Cowboys, man? It was an awesome game. So I'm excited.
Really awesome to have you on screen. Everybody can see your wonderful, beautiful face, Londo.
Oh,
And so,
stop. You're going to make me blush, man. Stop it.
yeah, the four amigos now going to go at it here.
Chris is like, oh, God.
I love it. I love it. Round number 1, news around the NFL. We're going to start it off. Brought to you by Taquito Express, where you can get all-you-can-eat tacos down in beautiful Brownsville, Texas. $8.99 is the price. $9.99 if you play your cards right and get that extra special meat in there. But use code ITL when you go to the counter and you'll get 10% off your order today. We got some fresh breaking news coming up in just a moment, but the news earlier today, Justin Herbert out for the season for the Los Angeles Chargers, another disappointing loss this past weekend. Chris Borak, what does this mean for the Chargers now that Herbert is out?
Same thing before he was ruled out. Chargers aren't going anywhere this year. It's just a disappointing season for the Chargers. It sucks for Herbert. But Staley needs to go. You heard reports early in the week where they were talking about Austin Eckler's not getting it done. They were trying to place blame on him. I'm like, have you seen your offensive line lately? It's just amazing the narrative that's being pushed out there in Charger land. So I don't understand it. They need a coaching change. Does suck that he's injured, but I mean, they weren't going anywhere anyway.
Agree. Herbert did sign that extension, 5-year, $262.5 million deal. So he is a Charger. Staley's probably out. But Chris Connor, you are not all in on Staley staying. So who is your favorite for replacing Staley in Los Angeles?
I was thinking about this here, and because I think there needs to be a regime change overall. So I'm going here, and I know I say this about a lot of teams, but damn it, if I am the owner of the San Diego Chargers, if I am, dare I say, willing to spend money, and I know that Dean Spanos doesn't. God damn it, get me a winner. Get me John Harbaugh. Let Harbaugh cook. Give him a quarterback that is pretty damn good, and he will make this team great. I'm saying make the Chargers great again. Bring in Harbaugh. Just get rid of Telesco. Get rid of Boob Staley. Bring in a winner. Bring in a guy who he did with the 49ers. He will do it with the Chargers.
Okay, that's fair. And does Herbert leaving change anything perspective for the Chargers for years? This season already over. It was over before the injury.
I mean, it was over. They had a last little, blip when they beat the Patriots, and Bailey Zappi, who everybody in New England was going gaga over after this week, but they were done. I mean, it's a very bad team. The coaches are bad. The defense is horrible. The offensive line can't get a push. Outside of Keenan Allen, the wide receivers aren't that great. I mean, it's just a bad overall year. No, I was out on them, way back when.
Yeah,
they lost a lot of close games early on in the season.
They did.
So.
And that's not like uncanny for them. They had been losing close games for like the last couple seasons. So like they just can't do it in the clutch. So just a terrible outing. Londo, for fantasy purposes, I'm sure you're like, hey, stay away, not a dynasty player. Am I right?
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, that's
for who?
That's perfect.
Stay away from who?
Anything Chargers right now. Austin Eckler may not be there. Mike Williams is injury prone. Keenan Allen is injury prone. Now we don't know the extent of the Herbert injury. Dynasty wise, I'm kind of worried.
I think Allen gets a bad rap. I mean, dynasty wise, Allen is old, but he plays through a lot of injuries.
He
doesn't get enough credit for that.
That's not wrong. We're going to stay in the AFC West. We're going to take this heading over to another topic right here. So let's transition to a couple other teams that are a focus. The AFC West is up for grabs. It's a one-game scenario right now between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Broncos let 70 points go, and then all of a sudden now, fast forward 7 games later, and we are now a one-game lock here between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Chris Connor, I'll start with you. I started with Bark on the last one, so let's start with you. How realistic is Denver's chances of winning this division?
I mean, they have a chance. It's just I don't think they're going to beat Detroit because I don't know if they can keep up with Detroit. Their offense is still a pop gun offense. And then, they had the hope that the Chiefs just really go bad. But you look at the Chiefs, last 4 games, and as much as they're having problems on offense, their next 4 opponents are New England Patriots, Bailey Zappi, the Los Angeles Raiders, who couldn't even score a point in the last game, a Bengals team that doesn't have Joe Burrow, and then the Chargers, who probably might be playing for tea time. So, as I said, I'm still going with the Chiefs, but credit to the Broncos. They didn't quit. They've hung in this, and I think they will make the playoffs. I'll say that much. They will make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Now they share three common opponents, right? Like they share the Patriots, the Raiders, and the Chargers. I think they both play those teams, right? Yeah, they do. Okay.
Yes.
So it's just it's just the difference between the Bengals and the Lions. So if for any reason the Bengals are trying for the win come the end of the season because they need that playoff spot, that could be a really dangerous situation for Kansas City if Denver upsets Detroit this week. That would put Kansas City on the hot seat. Like that would be a real scenario. Borak, are the Broncos like a legitimate playoff team to you? Like are they a legitimate threat in the AFC?
That defense is. Their defense doesn't get enough credit for what they're doing right now. I think Sean Payton has figured out how to manage. Russ has really turned into a game manager, and he's been using his legs in key spots to pick up big third down plays to keep them in ball games. I mean, you're right about the schedule. This week is really going to be telling because Denver plays Detroit at Detroit. I mean, Kansas City's going to punish the Patriots. But they play the Bengals at Arrowhead, and I think that's the big difference. I mean, those are both their two biggest games left. So I just don't see Kansas City losing the division with they play at New England, they play at home versus the Raiders, at home versus the Bengals, and then at the Chargers. I just don't see them losing any of those games, especially coming off the way they lost this last week. You know they're going to be ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Poor New England. So Londo, from the eye test, right? If you have to say, hey, Denver on this, won 6 of the last 7, Kansas City fighting the referees from the eye test, who are you backing, Kansas City or Denver rest of the season?
Kansas City, for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, Broncos are doing great, especially with the amazing defense, like Chris said, but you can't dispute Patrick Mahomes, especially after their last game. I mean, he's on fire. That guy's going to come out, and he's got an easy schedule coming up. So for sure, the Chiefs.
I worry a bit that the NFL refs read the script, right? Like they've read the script. Kansas City's not going to win. They're not going to have home field in the playoffs, and we're going to have to see the true test of Mahomes. I worry about that.
Oh, he was offsides. The Kansas City's receivers just can't stop hurting the Chiefs. Like they got to lead the league, or if not top 5, and drop passes as a unit. But hey, I was going to bring up this stat: the Denver Broncos are 6-7 over the last 7 games. Their only loss coming to the Texans.
Yep. They're 6-1. Yep.
Wow.
That's the crazy part. Now, in a hypothetical situation, and I know we're not talking NFC North, but that NFC North is now crazy because if Detroit loses to Denver, just hear me out here. If Detroit loses to Denver, Detroit then has to play Minnesota, who again you would say, well, Minnesota stinks, but then Minnesota would just be a game back from Detroit. So that game would have a lot of meaning to Minnesota. Then Detroit plays Dallas and then ends the year again against Minnesota. Like, that is a crazy situation where Detroit may end up losing this division if they really plummet. It's just mind-boggling. So NFC North is something to watch as well. And shout out to Londo's Bears if they win this week. Some more pressure on those Lions. All right, guys. So
I don't see the Lions falling that far. That's a stretch.
We'd have to see. They've looked terrible for a couple weeks now.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they didn't.
they have the best quarterback of the whole group. I mean, I still don't trust Fields. I like him, but I just don't trust him. Vikings. I'm still trying to figure out how Kevin O'Connell's gotten 7 wins out of that Vikings team. That's just it's hot garbage right there. I mean, Kevin O'Connell deserves Coach of the Year when he actually got 2 wins out of Josh Dobbs. And the Packers are just a bipolar team. They'll play great against Kansas City, then they'll stink up a joint against the Giants. Like, can some team make up its mind what the hell they are?
You've
I'm
been
just
trying
saying-
to fire Kevin O'Connell since week 2,
You have.
just for the record.
Just look at that
I do-
team.
I
I mean,
do
you
like-
look at the Minnesota Vikings, it's like, okay, what do they have? Justin Jefferson has decided to shut it down. I mean, he is just going like, I'm injured again. I'm shut it down. So you look at the rest of the team, it's like, okay,
Well, they
the
lost
offensive
Kirk
line, not that good.
Cousins.
Who do they have running back? I have no idea. It's like, Ty Chandler, where the hell did they get him from? Defense, the defense is okay, but it's like, their defensive linemen are average, linebackers decent, cornerbacks. I mean, it's like, one of these things doesn't go with the other. It's the Vikings. Of all the teams, they have a team that just you look at the talent and like, wow, they are 4th out of that division.
There's a situation here. There's a scenario where each of the NFC North teams are 9-8.
But I mean, Minnesota was competitive early on in the year. It's not like they were just getting blown out, and they had a stretch run where they were winning games until Kirk Cousins went down, and then they lost Justin Jefferson. So it's not
They
like
still won 2 games with both of those guys down. They've won 3 games without him. Think of it. No Justin.
so.
No,
If they did that, how are you saying fire Kevin O'Connell?
He's
No,
obviously
I'm saying Kevin O'Connell deserves Coach of the Year.
Oh Lord!
Come on now. There's a lot of. He's not going to win coach.
He got 7
not even
wins
gonna
out
win
of
his
his team.
division.
Explain. Look at that team. It's like, holy crap, it's hot garbage.
They
He
were
gets-
supposed
he
to
prob-
win the division.
He should probably be the Walter
Everyone
Payton
was
Man
saying
of
the
the Year
Lions were
for
going to
what
win
he's
the
done.
division. Everybody thought this team was going to take a big step back. It's like, all right, Dalvin Cook gone, Adam Thielen gone. They released Kendricks. They released, Greg Mance, Dalvin Tomlinson gone. They released all of their cornerbacks, including Patrick Peterson. They all left. I mean, you look at this team and you went, okay, how the hell are they going to be competitive?
Yeah, but I don't think the division was that great to start off the season. I know a lot of us like the Lions, but as far as competing for the division, they were supposed to compete with the Lions. And I don't think Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback.
No, but he's been injured. He got 2 wins out of Josh Dobbs. Look at that. 2 wins out of Josh. How the hell do they get 2 wins out of Josh Dobbs?
Yeah, but that doesn't make you Coach of the Year.
It doesn't.
7 wins. I mean, think of it. He's gone through like 3 quarterbacks because, one got hurt. The other one got hurt. They traded for Dobbs. He played himself out, and they still beat the Raiders 3-0 with hot garbage.
I would
Yeah.
give. I don't know. I could see your point. I mean, he's definitely could get consideration, but I don't think he's been a better coach than Dan Campbell, even in his own division. So,
I do. I mean,
that's just my take.
The Lions are loaded for bear. They have everything a coach can want: quarterback, wide receivers, running back. They got Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, do the Vikings have anybody who's even as good as Aiden Hutchinson, or anybody on offense who's as good as Armand St. Brown, or their offensive line even as good as the Lions? No, this is a team you look and go, holy crap, they're winning, and they suck really. They're not that good.
I'm going to end this segment. I'm just going to say right now, the Bears are 200-1 to win the division. Go slap some money on it.
No,
not out.
don't.
They're not out.
I'd rather buy an NFT than bet on the Lions to win the division. No.
We'll talk in 4 weeks. Let's move on. The NFC East has been broken open at the top. Dallas and Philly locked 10-3 together after a monumental weekend for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I haven't even been obnoxious yet. I'm not feeling it tonight, so I may not be. But let me just start off with this. We got ridiculed last week because you guys said the Cowboys had no shot at beating the Eagles.
I did
And
not
said
say that.
and said that there was a chance they could beat the Eagles. I'll rephrase it. You said there's a chance they could beat the Eagles, but that you were going to pick the better team, which was the Eagles, to win that game. Is that fair, Chris?
That is absolutely fair.
Okay.
But I didn't say they had no chance. I said if Dak played well, didn't turn the ball over, and they actually won the game in the trenches. The reason why I picked the Eagles is because I thought their offensive line would dominate, and they didn't. Dallas did that. They controlled the momentum.
Yeah.
They controlled the Eagles. They started getting the running game after the second half started, and then Dallas just took control again. I give credit to Dallas. Dak played well. They were the more physical team. They just outplayed the Eagles. If I'm an Eagles fan, I would be a little worried right now. That's 2 weeks in a row you got dominated by the top 3 in the NFC.
Yep. That is a correct analysis. The Dallas Cowboys look phenomenal. And when you get into December, the Dallas Cowboys usually fall off the cliff a bit. Like you start seeing the December blues for the Dallas Cowboys. I know a lot of analysts like to say, "Oh, it's in January in the playoffs." That's not true. It's in December. They have a perfect November, and in December they've never finished over 500. So for Dallas Cowboys fans, seeing a dominant win in December, it's different. That is a different feeling. And I will also say this: Dak Prescott looked phenomenal in a game against a defense that's poor, yes, but a lot of pressure. He looked phenomenal in control. He audibled only out of about 30% of snaps, so the game was probably over at halftime. He had one blemish, which was the fumble that was returned for a touchdown by Jalen Carter. But really, Dak Prescott played a phenomenal game. He made throws he doesn't usually make in pressure. So I am very intrigued by where the Cowboys go, and I'm not going to give away analysis for this week. But the Dallas Cowboys have me excited, probably higher than I should be on where they're going to end up this year. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to even get a clip of that. No, I'm not going to say where I think they'll be. But
Say it.
I am excited about an
Say
NFC
it.
Championship berth for the Dallas Cowboys. I know for sure we are going to the NFC Championship now.
Come on,
Like I'm not
Ernest,
even
say it.
I'm not even close to doubting that. I almost feel as certain as I was last week that we were winning that game. They're going to make the NFC Championship. So I'm going to leave it
Come
at that.
on.
No, I'm not
Say it.
going all out yet. Not yet.
All
Not
right.
yet. Londo, how do you feel about the Cowboys?
Yo, how about them Cowboys, man? That was a great game. I was so excited. I felt like I saw a different side of the Cowboys that night. Man, they were playing phenomenally, and they controlled the hell out of that game. I felt like the Eagles just had no answer for them, and it was just fun to watch. It took me by surprise. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I'd see a bigger dogfight from the Eagles, but man, they just dominated, and it was fantastic. So yeah.
With no offensive touchdowns for a team that's been known to score at least about 2-3 times every game.
Mhm.
No offensive touchdowns. Chris Connor, you're the unbiased take here. I'll let you dive into the division talk as well. Your takes from the game last week, and then kind of talk about the division and your thoughts.
Well, I give the Cowboys credit. They went out there, they took care of business. It was a statement game, and if we ever thought the Cowboys could, get to the NFC Championship game or win the Super Bowl, this is the team it looks like. Now, granted, it's also, this is where they're at their best, when they are ahead, when they can pin the tails back on their pass rushers, and the running game, against them is not a factor. So kudos to them. Let's see what the rest of the season holds. I mean, we've seen this before with the Cowboys. Like, all right, you look great, and then the wheels fall off. So I don't know. I mean, as I said, the schedule is still a bit tough for them. I mean, at Buffalo, at Miami, Detroit Lions, Washington Commanders. It's outside of the last game, I could still see them. stumble a bit because, hey, you're going to Miami in December. Hey, you're going to Buffalo in December. This is a true test. All right, you won. You're now peacocking. Can you hold up the momentum, or do they stumble against a Bills team that has some juice, or a Dolphins team that, when their offense is cooking, that's a tough thing to stop?
You know what I love about the Dallas Cowboys in this win was that other than DeMarcus Lawrence, none of them really peacocked. Right? Like Dak
Yeah.
Prescott went to the podium and they asked him what he thought about it, and he immediately said, "I could play a better game." Like it wasn't like, "Hey, it was a great performance. We did well." Like it was immediately, "We could play a better game." DeMarcus Lawrence, of course, ran his mouth and said, "We got physical and we out physical them," and all that bullshit AJ Brown was talking. Because of course, if you guys don't know this or you don't follow some of the Philadelphia media, which I doubt most of you do, but AJ Brown said they were going to win 30-0 this past weekend. Obviously, didn't happen. So DeMarcus Lawrence is responding to that. AJ Brown also on the field called Stephon Gilmore old, which he's probably on the older side, but called him old, and then he got shut down. So when it comes to picking on the Cowboys, that's not a smart idea, especially with them at home. Borak, for your thoughts on the division and where it's heading.
Okay, calm down. I mean, these two teams already hate each other. I mean, you don't need anything in the media to give them extra incentive. Like they literally hate each other. Let's don't act like, okay, the Cowboys have just been this dominant force like the 49ers, and if you poke them,
at home they are.
They're going to rise up.
At home they are.
Okay. So the division. So the Eagles they play at Seattle. And I will say this for Eagle fans out there, for the probably 4 or 5 that we have listening. They had a brutal stretch run, and I don't know if they were just tired, but I don't know what. But they did play the Cowboys. They won that game barely at home. Then they played the Chiefs, the Bills, 49ers, and then you come back to the Cowboys. That is a brutal schedule stretch. Now, I'm not making any excuses for them. Just want to point that out. But the division-wise, it's a tougher road for the Cowboys for sure, because the Eagles will play at Seattle. Then they play at home versus the Giants. They play at home versus the Cardinals. Then they play at New York versus the Giants. The Cowboys have, of course, at Buffalo this weekend, at Miami the next. Then they play Detroit at home. And then they end the year with the Commanders. So like Chris was saying, I mean, Cowboys could easily go 1-3 over the next 4 games. And I don't think anybody would be shocked, because they're playing playoff teams. And not the Commanders, but Miami, Buffalo, and Detroit are all going to make playoffs.
Miami did just lose to Tennessee. And you do see that Bills are not the Bills of old. The Bills have holes. The Bills are probably a weaker team or probably just on the same level as the Seahawks right now, but you have to go to Buffalo. And then you don't lose at home. The Cowboys don't lose at home. So I'm not worried about Detroit or Washington at this point. So to me, I would be surprised if they do anything less than 2-2. Like that's how confident I am right now about Dallas at home. So
that's disrespectful right there. Not even worried about Detroit. You want to talk about a physical team?
I'm not at all. But we'll have to, Dallas Cowboys can be somebody different, right? Come that week, so we'll have to talk it that week. Right now, if Detroit was coming to Dallas this week, I would pick Dallas by 6.5, maybe even 9.5. That's how confident I am in it. So that's how high I'm riding on how Dak Prescott plays at home with the Cowboys right now, and how the defense plays. I will say this for those of you. Oh well, I'm not going to get into this week's analysis yet, but Dallas. So going to Seattle is a tough gig, right? The Eagles have to go to Seattle and beat Seattle on this last game of their gauntlet part of their little season, right? Like of their little stretch of games, because Seattle is part of that. Seattle needs the win. So they will be playing, and Geno Smith will be back with 12th man against the Eagles. That is another tall task. Now they get an extra day of rest, right? It's Monday Night Football, so the Eagles get to catch a little bit of a lucky break there. And so they get to go to Seattle and they get to play that game. Now, they lose that game. Dallas has sole possession of first place if Dallas were to take care of business against Buffalo. And then you're talking about Tommy DeVito time and the Giants, who Chris Conner says is going to make the playoffs. The only way the Giants make the playoffs, according to Chris Conner, is if they win one or two of those games against Philly. So if that is the case, then Philly has to take care of business against a surging Giants team who's won 3 straight with Tommy DeVito.
What are we seriously talking about the Giants?
I just
making
have
the
to let you
playoffs?
know, Borak. I just have to let you know what Chris Conner has said. I know you guys like to debate this
Chris.
Eagles-Cowboys take.
Sell me on this Giants making the playoffs.
Please, Chris, tell us, how are Giants making the playoffs if they have to play Philly twice?
Because you know what? By the time they play Philly the second time, Philly could be already sitting its guys down because it'll be the last game of the season. Philly might end up, clinching first place in division or second place. They'll have nothing to play for. I could see it easily going, all right, well, we don't want to get Hurts getting banged up. And all you know, an 8-9 team could make the playoffs. I'm telling you, I thought I wrote the Giants a while ago, but yet they're like, the Dracula right now. We keep killing them off, and they keep coming back, and you're like, oh damn it, how?
So basically, he's saying your Cowboys are going to lose like 2 out of the next 4.
Right. So you would be saying that you have Cowboys losing in Buffalo, you have them losing in Miami, you'd have them losing to Detroit, I guess, because that's the only way that last game doesn't matter for Philly.
No, I mean if they lose to Miami, and if they lose to Buffalo, and Philly wins the rest of his games, Philly has the advantage. It can sit going into the last game of the season. So yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to see. But let's get into the games. Before we dive into the games, we do have breaking news that happened hours before ITL. Bill Belichick is out in New England. The NFL Insiders has reported that they have parted ways in regards to the end of the season, so he's not out today. But Bill Belichick will be a free agent coach come this offseason. So that's breaking news on here. Chris Conner, you called this last week. You said Belichick was going to be gone, but where to? What's your best guess on where Bill Belichick's coaching next year?
I don't think he's going to be coaching next year. It's going to be a tough sell. I mean, let's say he finishes the year at 3-14. If you're a team like the Chargers or the Washington Redskins, or Commanders, that's still a weird name to say, or you're even the Bears, say if they fire their guy, or the Raiders. How do you sell to your fans? Hey, we're bringing Bill Belichick in, 72-year-old Bill Belichick who hates quarterbacks like they are basically a diseased rhino.
Children.
His offense is stuck in the 90s, and oh yeah, by the way, the guy hates talking to people. So yeah, no, I think he'll go to media and just wait until maybe a team like, I don't know, the Lions, get sick with Bill, Campbell decide, hey, we want to get a guy who can polish it up and finish it, or some team decides to, maybe bring him in as a consultant for a bit and try to become a GM. But I don't see it. It's just his legacy has been tarnished the last 4 years of just how badly he's screwed up that quarterback, position.
So you don't think he's coaching? Chris Borak, where do you see him heading?
No, my dark horse is the Dallas Cowboys.
That is so gross.
No.
Yeah, but once again, Jerry wants to have control and actually talk to the coach and have a relationship. Bill hates talking to people.
Yeah, I know. Hot take. But I can see the Cowboys losing horribly in the playoffs, and Jerry wants to give. I mean, Bill's not going to be. He's not going to a rebuilding team. He wants to just win games. He wants to get the record, and guess what? Jerry wants to win a Super Bowl. I do think that with that defense, he would be a good fit in Dallas. The other team I think Ernest was onto something is Chicago. A couple of dark horse teams I could see is San Diego. And what about Tennessee? Tennessee would be kind of a rebuilding project, but they still have some veterans and have been playing well. But I'm not sure that they're ready to let go from Vrabel yet.
Well, we have to see. You kind of you leaked out my pick, but it's Chicago. I think Chicago, depending on how they end the year, if they have momentum, if they finish above 500, they win out. They go with their quarterback and they use 1 in 5 in the draft, or they use 1 in whatever 10 in the draft to grab their star wideout and grab their star person. Um, and
That was for Luke. Sorry.
I know. You know, Luke, I wish you were here, Luke, so I could talk some more shit about the college football playoffs with you. I wish you were here. Luke Harto in the comments, just like Kenny Cotterill, too scared to come on camera, but we'll comment on
Ooh,
there
ouch.
and list out their horns down comments.
All right,
But
back to the Bears.
back to what we're saying. Yeah, Bill Belichick. We're talking a lot of Bears today, but Bill Belichick to the Bears, I think, just makes total sense. Make an Ohio State quarterback successful, division kind of open with the quarterback turmoil and just the unknown, and then build up on talent. You trade back that 1 pick if you want to. You get a bunch of assets and you can get a bunch of quality players in this year's draft. So
Do
that
you
would be
trust
phenomenal.
Bill, though, with a young quarterback? I mean, he ruined Mac Jones. He ruined, he basically ran Cam Newton out of town. I mean, what is he going to bring? Oh, hey, by the way, I'm going to bring in my offensive coordinator. That's right, Matt Patricia. No,
it's Bill O'Brien.
Joe Judge, offensive coordinator for Chicago Bears. Yeah, he doesn't get offense. I mean, he is basically a defense coordinator right now. And I get it, he's a GOAT, he's a legend, but for what the NFL is, which is an offensive league, quarterback driven, coming up with ways to score, that's not Bill. Bill likes special team guys, pound the ball, jump passes, up in the air, have your 6'5" receiver try to out jump somebody, get it. He's just not. The game has passed him by in a sense. He still thinks I can win the 1990s.
I'm not ready to say that because that team is just the personnel. They just don't have talent anywhere.
But that's Bill, though. He picks it, and he doesn't want to go to a team and not have power. He wants to be the GM, so he can bring his kids along. He can bring his people along. And if you're the Bears, are you going to fire Ryan Poles after 2 years after getting all this draft capital?
No, I don't think Bill has power in this situation. Like, I think wherever he goes, he's going to have to just coach. And I think that'll be better for Bill.
Now, the whole reason, and for those who don't know, the whole reason why he would continue coaching is to chase the record. He wants to be the all-time winningest head coach. So for those that are wondering why we don't think he's just going to sit back and go to South Beach, that's why. So continue.
Yeah, I see him coaching next year. It
too.
sounds like Bill wronged somebody in Chris's family in the past. He hates Bill Belichick.
I've seen him the last couple of years. And this is a guy who he wants to be in charge of everything, from the draft to signing players, picking the talent. And I don't think he's just going to go, oh yeah, well, I'm going to give that up and coach a bad team. That's not how he rolls. I think he goes. Make sure his kids are set up. He wants to make sure his people are set up. He wants to be in control of the whole thing.
Before we end round number 1, because it's a great topic, I did call him out, so I'm going to honor he's in the backstage. I called out just Luke and said you're too scared to come on screen. He is here, so let's go ahead and welcome him in. Welcome back in. The more the merrier. Just Luke coming on screen.
Give me a hell yeah!
About time.
Luke, welcome to ITL as you get your camera going. Welcome, bud. We lost him with a technical difficulty. I'm sure. Oh, we did lose him, so he'll be back. But Luke will be joining us momentarily. Chris Connor, wrap us up here. Last take on this topic.
Look, as I said, this came. They supposedly came back after the Colts game, which didn't shock me. That was just a terrible game. But as I said, the only team I could see him going to would be the Cowboys, because he'd have the quarterback. He'd be the one team where he could go, all right, I'm not gonna push for power. Any other team, I just don't see it because he's going to want to have control. He's going to want to be able to do his own thing. And, if he goes to Carolina or Washington or the Bears or even the Chargers, he's going to take a pay cut and he's going to not have power. And I just don't see that happening with Bill Belichick. If you follow him, he calls with shots, not the other way around.
I mentioned his introduction before. Just Luke has entered the chat. Just Luke, what's up, my man?
Well, they had to put some nets around the Fort Pitt Bridge lately. They had to put out a nice watch list, make sure everybody was okay at the Three Rivers. But it's okay. Still alive. It's not too bad.
I just want to say, rumors of Just Luke getting arrested for assaulting Mitch Trubisky and screaming, "You can't play, retire," are not true.
It's a very sad day when I've actually cheered for Mason Rudolph to play. That's bad. That's
yikes.
Bad. Yeah. Nope. Been busy year end. Got to get bills out. So it was good seeing you guys. I had to hop in because somebody was slandering my name in here.
You can't slander the Longhorns when they actually make the college football playoffs. So get that out of my chat.
Hey, thank God. I forgot it wasn't the team that got in. It was the boosters that got in. That's my bad.
That's what it is. Hey, if you guys don't watch the team, they wouldn't go. But all y'all are just so glued to the TV when the Longhorns are playing. It's y'all's fault.
Yeah, because we get the Longhorn
Network. Love.
We get the Longhorn Network here in West Virginia. I forgot.
Actually, they didn't have any game. They had one game on the Longhorn Network this year. They had to get rid of it because the SEC won't allow it. So yeah, they play most of their games national TV. But hey,
I watched the one game they cheated.
They still won though. I can name you a couple of Bama ones.
I just want to know who right now is becoming more obnoxious, Ira Silva or Sean Stellato, Tommy DeVito's agent. It's neck and neck. I'm curious here because I can see Ernest trying hard at the peacock.
I am a Tommy DeVito stan right now as they play the Eagles twice. So I am all about the Giants.
He's living with his parents. Get that man a check. All right. I don't care what it is. That man a check.
We are going right to the NFL primetime pick'em of ITL. While you watch this show at our casual 40-minute mark, as we do every time you watch us, let's go ahead and watch some funny Dallas Cowboy timer memes from Mark. Kudos to Mark. It's rated Mark for the transition.
Hey, I was just rolling by. Saw you had an Eagles flag up on the house. Yo, I don't think you know where you're at, brother. Let me help you out. This is Cowboys Nation, aka America's team. Yo, I know you saw that game last night. Might want to take down that flag. I don't think you know where you're at. Yo, here in Dallas Nation, we stand on business. We stand on business over here. Hey, here's my interpretation of that game last night. Something like this. Yo. Yo, so you saw what we did in our house last night. Well, guess what? Now I'm in front of y'all's house. I know y'all scored like one touchdown or something last night. Here's something how that went. It was something like... Yo, y'all shouldn't even be called the Philadelphia Eagles anymore after that game. More like the Philly cheesesteaks. Because we ate y'all up. We ate y'all up last night. Hey, anyways, the thing is, yo, it's Dallas Nation for life, baby. Let's go Dallas. Woo!
There you have it. We're going right into round two. ITL primetime pick'em. You'll never get those 2 minutes back in your life. We go Thursday night football. The Las Vegas Raiders, coming off a disappointing loss, going up against the Los Angeles Chargers, who are quarterbackless, going into this week's game as Herbert's out for the season. We start this off with Chris Borick.
This is going to be a terrible Thursday night football game. as we gotten quite accustomed to. But I do like the Raiders at home. So give me the Raiders to cover 3.
All right, Raiders to cover at home is the first pick on ITL Pick'em. Chris Connor.
I'm picking, but I'm going to be drinking heavily, cursing Thursday Night Football again, and wondering if there is, a football god. He must hate us. I have no idea how Bears going to score points. Both teams are terrible. Give me the Raiders just because they seem to at least their coach, like their coach, not sure about the Chargers. I mean, they got to do something about Thursday Night Football. This is just bad football. And I know we're all going to watch because we're all addicted to it, but God, this is just horrible football.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
I have Eckler, so I have to watch.
Ernest made me pick. I'm not going to watch this.
I do want to make a comment though. Reg Huggins has been in the comments. I've been flashing his comments, part of the old guys, with Chris Borak. But he says we need to slow down in Cowboys Nation and just be quiet and let the games be played. And not even a minute later, Dak is better than Herbert right into the comments.
This is typical Cowboy fan. Like, you guys can't
right
shut up.
Back. Like, you just said Cowboys Nation needs to calm down, and you go from, hey, calm down, to, hey, don't forget Dak is better than the $262.5 million guy with a cannon. And so Reg is doubling down. I mean, is he not better? We're not going to debate that right now.
I mean,
because we have before.
Oh,
we have before. And I'm not going to debate that right now. I mean, Dak may have some better stats this year, but Herbert had a down year and he's hurt. So we're gonna leave it at that. Londo, who do you have in this game?
Yeah, give me the Raiders, man. I'm not gonna see it, but I think they're gonna take it.
And Chris Connor, you chose the Raiders to cover?
Yes.
Okay. Just Luke.
Whatever the under is, take the under.
Again.
Hammer it.
Yeah, hammer it. I will not be watching this, so don't loop me in with the whole everybody will be watching. No one's going to be watching this game. And am I really about to pick a team that lost 3-0 last week? This ain't hockey, fellas. This is football. Give me the Chargers.
Chargers get the money line win. Luke saves the parlay. I'm going Raiders at home. I like Raiders. I like what they're doing. I like the culture. I'm all about the culture. I don't have to put it on the TSG guarantee this week. But I will say this. You're starting your Raiders fantasy. You're starting your Ecklers in fantasy. I think this is going to be a really rough outing. And for those who are in the fantasy playoffs, you have to watch it if you have Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs. Like that sucks. But you're gonna have to watch this game. Order a pizza, drink some beer, have a good time. Don't put any bets on this game unless you're betting the under. Like, just stay away at this point. But Vegas -3 if you're feeling antsy and you have some extra cash lying around. Thank God I didn't have to rise the meter on the BCMG guarantee, but we're going to go this week. You need to watch your fantasy lineups because we have 3 Saturday games, which is really strange, but we do have 3 Saturday games, noon, afternoon, and evening. So if you don't watch out, fix those lineups, make sure you have the right people in the right slots. Our first game is in Cincinnati. And with that, we will just
who do you want to pick first?
Yeah, we'll go with Chris Connor. Yeah, the delay was the video, so I was just waiting for the video to come up. But go ahead, Chris Connor. Who you got?
It's not a tough game to pick, just because I'm looking around here. It's like, okay, is Jake Browning, that good? Were the Colts that bad? Then you got to worry about the health because, hey, they pulled Browning, later in that game because he got a big dinged up. Give me the Bengals because it's at home, and I don't trust the Vikings to find any offense. They're just offensively inept.
To cover the 3.5.
Yes.
All right. First pick is Cincinnati minus 3.5. Londo.
Yeah, give me Minnesota money line.
Minnesota. He's riding Minnie. Minnie is going forward for Londo. Just Luke.
Yep.
Man. Saturday at noon. That's so trash. Another under game.
Oh, you froze.
We'll go with Cincinnati by 1.
Cincinnati money line for Luke. I am also riding the Cincinnati money line for this game. I like Cincy at home. I'm okay with Browning. I think Cincy is going to continue to make their run. Joe Mixon game for me. I like to call these. Joe Mixon's my guy. I really feel Minnesota's defense is so susceptible to a run, and they're going to lean on it. Shout out to the backup there in Cincinnati as well. Huge standout season for him. Borak, wrap us up on this one.
I'm a Jake Browning guy. I recommended him in fantasy. Hope some people who were struggling with quarterback picked him up. I don't see anything. This is a great matchup. I actually like the over in this game. The Bengals defense is not very good either. I know it's Nick Mullins, but he actually didn't play like trash last weekend. He actually played better than Dobbs.
So who you're picking Cincy to cover?
I'm picking Cincy money line.
Money
just
line.
to keep up with you, Ernest.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. We have a 4-1 for Vegas, 4-1 for Cincy, and that takes us to our Saturday afternoon game where we're going to be going to the beautiful city of Indianapolis, and Indianapolis is playing against Pittsburgh. The Indy-Pittsburgh game line is 2.5. Indy 2.5 favorites early against Pittsburgh, so it looks like Luke will be watching this game. Is Rudolph starting this week?
No, Mitch is still.
Wonderful. Luke, we'll start with you.
Can we really lose 3 in a row to sub 500 teams? I don't think that's.
They're not sub 500.
Oh, they're not?
No, Indy's a winning team. Yep.
What?
They're fighting for the playoffs.
5?
They're actually fighting for the division.
7-6.
7-6. Well, that means they play good against 500 teams, so give me the Steelers.
Steelers are the first pick. Steelers money line the first pick here. Londo.
Yeah, give me the Steelers money line.
Ooh, 2 Steelers money lines pick. Call me a liar, Chris Borak.
Man, I love you guys just saving the parlay. That's just so great of you guys. I'm all over the Colts covering this 2.5 easily.
Colts 2.5 winning at home is Borak's pick. I am also riding the Colts in this game to win and cover. The Colts are a good football team. They're not a great football team, but they're a good football team. I think they're good enough at home to win this. JT is still out, correct, Borak?
He has been limited in practice, so he may play, but I don't see him getting on the field. I think they're going to hold him out one more game. He'll be back next week.
All right, Chris Connor.
I'm going Indy. I feel bad for Luke because I can tell he's just like, okay, if I do strangle Mitch Trubisky, I could maybe get off easily with the judge. I mean, as I said, when you're rooting for Mason Rudolph, when you're rooting for even Deontay Johnson to get like just a hamstring pull, so he doesn't infect a locker room, it's like, okay, this is going bad. I hate to say it because I like Mike Tomlin, but this team looks like it's just ready to quit. And maybe you can blame it on Trubisky, you can blame it on the offensive coordinators. Hey, you can blame it on the wide receivers being divas, but I think the Colts take this, and I think they win easily.
Quit.
All right.
What?
We are split here
What?
on the
Was that Chris or the meme?
That's Chris. Chris, what are you whatting?
How has a Mike Tomlin team ever quit? I mean, come on.
I
They're
mean, they
still
quit in
going
that
to
last
play
game. I
hard.
mean, you saw them. It's just, maybe mentally they've checked out because they just look and go. Our offensive coordinators can't call plays. Tomlin's sticking with Trubisky. What does he have? Naked picture of Tomlin with a goat. Why is Mitch still in there? I mean, that team looks like it's just going, oh, crap. We're screwed. He's not getting rid of Mitch. We have no quarterback. We're going to hell. We can't stop it.
I will say that the tone on the what was actually right on par with the video. I thought it was running. Like I went to go check what the hell did I click. It was crazy. I don't want to put blasphemy on ITL. I'm changing my pick. I'm taking Pitt money line. I think Pitt
There we
wins this
go.
game now. I am all about a Tomlin team won't quit. A matter of fact, I read an article earlier today about how Tomlin might be overrated. That is locker room content. That's bulletin board material. The team will come out and play. Pitt gets the upset this week.
Me right there.
That is blasphemy. Saturday night game is not terrible. Probably the best game so far in this slate for primetime pick'em. It is Detroit. Detroit 5-point favorites at home versus the surging Denver Broncos. Both teams need this win. Detroit to solidify the division. Denver to catch the division against the Chiefs. I'm going to start the analysis on this one and then lead off. So Detroit Lions have been skidding a bit since Thanksgiving. They've been not playing up to par. Campbell's been under some scrutiny. Detroit's kind of trying to get their footing on them, battling some injuries. And the Denver Broncos have not looked any better. Since their 70-point loss, they've been 6-1 in the last 7 games. They've had key wins against very tough division opponents as well as on the road against some scrutiny. The only loss coming to the Houston Texans, which I like to point out just because we're a Houston and Dallas show here, and we like to make sure we let everybody know that. But Detroit 5-point favorites at home is not crazy. The line probably would be crazier if the Denver defense wasn't so stout and if Detroit wasn't playing bad. If you're fantasy purpose, you play your stars in all of these. I don't think there's anybody you sit and you don't take anybody out. I think it's a game that's going to have a lot of points in it. I am not on the train for Detroit. So this is not a Detroit win for me. I'm taking Denver upset on the road. I like Russell Wilson and how he's been a game manager this year. I like that defense. I think they plug a lot of holes. They win in the trenches, and Denver's trying to take this division and make a statement. And Sean Payton is a winner. So I'm going to take Denver on the road against Detroit and keep the Detroit skid happening here in December. And Denver pulls the upset. Let's go to you, Luke.
Ernest, I love it. I love it, bud. I'm so proud of you, man. Look at you go. Look at you go. You got to keep the girlfriend happy. And my record with the Denver Broncos as of late has been pretty good. So we'll give me the Denver Broncos because you want to know why, Ernest? I faintly remember right at the beginning of the year, somebody picking the Bears and saying they were going to run away with the division. It was theirs for the taking. And then everybody laughed at a said guy that picked the Green Bay Packers to win that division. But here we are. The Detroit Lions are skidding. The Green Bay Packers are going up. And Matt LaFleur is turning to Matt LaFleur. Look at that. What are we doing, Ernest?
2 Denver picks, and Luke and I are standing on some very radical basis for these picks. Londo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Denver. I'm liking Denver. So, yep.
3 Denver picks. 3 Denver picks. Borek has no idea what's happening. I'm not calling on him. Chris Connor.
Yeah, you're gonna hate me, but I'm going to Detroit. They're a different team at home, and you look at Denver's wins, and it's like, okay, the offense they usually take on, it's like stop one guy, and you're fine. Detroit has a lot more weapons. I think their running game is going to be the big key here, and the Broncos still are a team. It's they're good, but they're not too good. I mean, they're that team, but when they win, it's like a lot of close games, or if a quarterback's not playing well, or if a quarterback's hurt. So yeah, give me the Lions with points, 5 points.
All right, Lions getting their first pick here on ITL. Detroit and the points there. Borak.
I want whatever you guys are drinking or partaking in, this newfound faith in the Bronco Nation is really come full circle. I do think the Broncos are playing really well. We talked. I went into some analysis earlier on the show, but man, you guys are just taking everything the Lions have done this season and just turning it on its head. Like, this is a very good football team.
Yeah, they're great.
I think this is going to be a really good game with two good teams fighting for playoff positioning. I like the Lions to win by 3. I think it's going to be a close game. But I did not expect everybody to start picking the Broncos. So I will save the parlay ticket along with Chris and give me the Lions money line.
This is a wonderful primetime pick'em. I love the direction this is going. I will just caveat just one thing. This is taking us to game of the week. This will be the most obnoxious primetime segment. So get ready. You haven't heard anything yet. Buffalo Bills host America's team, Dallas Cowboys. Buffalo Bills 2-point favorites at home. Borak starts us off with analysis on this game. Go ahead, Borak.
I mean, this is what the Cowboys do, right? They get the fan base hyped up. Everybody just starts talking trash, and then they let you down. And this is going to be a huge letdown game. And then I'm going to have to listen to all the excuses next week on why they lost in Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. Give me the points. Sorry, Ernest.
No, you have to apologize to me. I don't know the team. Buffalo -2 gets the first pick there. Chris Connor.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo. It's outdoors. It's going to be cold. And the Buffalo Bills have the X factor here. It's still Josh Allen, who can shrug off of, defenders. When he gets hot, he's tough to stop. And this is that kind of game where, the Cowboys are going to be peacocking. They're going to be, getting, excited. And this is usually when they lose, like a la the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, this is the game where it's going to be brought back to reality that the Cowboys are going to go, well, crap, we can't take our eyes off the prize. Give me Buffalo with points.
Buffalo -2 getting their first 2 picks. Just Luke.
I'm really surprised here, fellas. I mean, I genuinely am surprised. I feel
not.
like in the general circle, we've moved past to we can't beat the Eagles bubble to now we them boys bubble. So I feel like the next bubble is probably losing to San Francisco in the divisional round. So, man,
that would mean the Cowboys don't win their division, though, Luke. So
yeah,
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they've gotten 2 wins now against 500 teams, so that's a lot to say. Yeah, fuck it. Give me Dallas.
Oh, we got a Dallas pick. Hey, did not expect that.
Come on,
Dallas money line. Londo. Wait, Londo. I mean, we missed our introduction. Okay, sorry, Londo. Go ahead.
That got me hyped. Dallas, man. Absolutely.
2 Dallas money lines, 2 Buffalo spread picks. I gotta remain, unbiased, right? Let's look at the facts here, right?
Like,
Oh
Let's
God.
just look at the facts. Which quarterback has played better this season? Dallas. Which wide receiver group is better? Dallas. Which defense is better? Dallas. Which kicker is better? Dallas.
Oh God.
Which head coach is better? The Bills. Okay. So, unbiased take. Dak Prescott, when against the spread, has only beaten it one time in his career. One time in his career has Dak Prescott, as an underdog, won a game. He's about to make it 2. Dallas Cowboys by 2 touchdowns this weekend. Book it on ITL. You heard it here. Give me
Right,
Dallas
what's that?
minus 12.5 this weekend. I am taking the Cowboys to win on the road and make a statement game against a Bills team that's very susceptible, who won their Super Bowl last week, who is finally going to see what it's like to play a real team. And the Dallas Cowboys are going to march into Buffalo. And a lot of people are saying that Dallas will struggle to start the game. I'm going to take the opposite. I think Dallas marches down the field twice, gets on the board, and starts to answer those questions like, can Dallas win on grass on the road? And is Dallas finally adapted to playing against in the outdoors in December? And I think they answer those questions this week. Give me Dallas. I like them better overall. It would take a Josh Allen masterclass to beat the Dallas Cowboys. And if he does it, applaud to him. Applaud to him. Like, it would. So
Wow.
I'm taking Dallas to win this game 28-13, maybe even 31-17, but Dallas by 2 scores. That's my take for this weekend. Book it. I'm even going to put it on the ITL spreadsheet. Dallas minus 12.5 just for funsies. That's for you, Borak.
I mean, you could never say the Cowboys fan base gets too high or gets too low. You could never say that about you guys.
No, we're really an unbiased organization all the way around.
I mean,
Sunday
the
night
peaks and
football.
valleys, though, are just unbelievable.
It's true. No, we have emotional whiplash as Cowboys fans. So we just take the high when we
That's
can,
why
and then the
I'm doing
valleys.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, the emotional whiplash is crazy. Matter of fact, the same people, if Dak Prescott has a bad weekend this year, that are preaching he's MVP will be talking about trading him in the offseason, like come Monday. It's the absolute craziest thing. The fan base is unreal. Sunday night football is Jacksonville. Let's roll it. This will be a phenomenal game. Jacksonville is going to be desperate for this win, and Baltimore is going to be showcasing quite a bit of things as far as what's in their arsenal. I believe Baltimore might be the best team in the AFC. I said that before the year. I'll continue to preach it. Let's go around the room. We'll start with you, Chris Borak.
I don't think this will be a close game at all. I like Baltimore to cover. Trevor's banged up. No Christian Kirk. I think Baltimore is going to control the ground game. I don't see Jacksonville being able to put up enough points to keep up with the Ravens. And I think the Ravens defense is underrated just because they've had some shootout games. So I like the Ravens to cover and cover this easily. I've been saying Jacksonville's been a fraud all season.
Nope. Yes, you have. I'm with you too. I have Baltimore winning and covering against this spread. I think Baltimore's a real deal out of the AFC. I think that's the Super Bowl team. So I'm going to roll Baltimore as well. Londo.
Yeah, give me Baltimore to cover.
That's 3 Baltimore spread picks, and we're on red alert here. Luke.
I mean, I don't pick rappers, but it's about time that Jacksonville gets their comeuppance. So this will might be a nice thumping for them. So Baltimore.
No pressure on Chris Conner, but We have our first almost BCMG alert. Chris Conner.
Yeah, give me Baltimore. I like Jacksonville, but it just seems like there's something missing. And I don't know if it's toughness. I don't know if it's just a leader on the defense who can literally get that team motivated, but they're just missing something. And against the Ravens, who are playing to get that number 1 seed, I don't like it. So yeah.
There you go. Wave those fingers there. Wave them like you just don't care. It took 6 primetime games, but it's there. The BCMG guarantee has been hit on ITL. Sorry, the TSG guarantee has been hit on ITL. That's going to take a while to get used to. And so there you have it. Our first pick on there on the TSG guarantee, Baltimore -3.5. We've hit 1 parlay this year. We're owed 1. There's only 4 weeks left. We've got to hit. We've got to hit again. Write that down, Baltimore -3.5, and that takes us to our final primetime game of the week, which is Monday Night Football. Is this our final? No, we have a couple of Monday Night Footballs before it's the final one. But we've already talked a little bit about this game. It's Seattle. Seattle Seahawks 12th man will go against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles 4-point favorites on the road in Seattle. We start this off with Londo. Londo, who do you like?
Yeah, give me Philly to cover, man.
Londo likes Philly to win and cover. Chris Conner.
Yeah, give me Philly. They're going to come out. They're going to be pissed. They're just going to come out and want to make a statement.
Yep.
That's Luke.
I'm actually really hard on this game right now just because Jalen did not look great. And his knee does not look good right now, at least in my opinion. His mobility is very questionable at this point. The problem is Seattle is falling apart at the seams. I mean, DK is literally fighting people out there now. So I can see Philadelphia. So I'm probably just going to pick Philly on the road. It's a tough one, but I think Philly could probably get this dub.
Win and cover?
By 3. So no.
Right, so Philly money line on that pick. Borak.
Yeah, I'm Eagles money line. Seahawks are just banged up. I don't even know how Geno's still playing right now. Credit to him toughing it out, but he looks absolutely miserable trying to maneuver around that pocket. And then that offensive line is just falling apart. And their secondary is so beat up right now. I just don't see how they're going to keep the Eagles from putting up points. So give me the Eagles to cover.
So we are on TSG guarantee alert here on ITL for Seattle versus Philadelphia, our final primetime game before we go to round 3, our fire round picks. It is not going to hit. I'm taking Seattle money line on this game. I think Seattle is a very difficult team to beat at home. Dallas struggled more with Seattle than they did Philadelphia at home. I'm going to take the eye test. I'm going to take the character test. Seattle needs the win. Desperation. Niners said they gave the blueprint. Okay. So let's see if they can follow that same blueprint and zero blitz on crucial downs and see if you can put pressure. I warned Borak that Hurts was hurt last week. He said I was making it up. Obviously not. He is hurt. And so we move forward. Seattle money line on this game. I will be having money on this game along with all my other pets. And this is going to be one that makes me money, and I'm excited. So Seattle to take the win.
Just for the record, he's not on the injury report.
Yeah, no, it's
so
totally.
The Eagles should be fined. How much? What's the penalty for that?
I think it's like $500K for
That's probably a
misrepresentation.
draft pick for hiding a knee injury, isn't it?
Yeah, and everybody's talking about
2
it.
weeks in a row?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like everybody knows that he has a left knee injury, but he's not.
I don't know that. You and Luke have just announced it.
Everybody is talking about it, Borak. Everybody is talking about it.
I just want one credible source of where he has a knee injury.
Every correspondent I've listened to across national broadcast TV has brought up the left knee injury. All right, let's move on. We're going to the fire round picks. Do it. Let's roll through these. Cleveland goes to Chicago, or Cleveland's hosting Chicago this week in Cleveland, 3.5-point favorites. Borak.
Man, I hate to go against Londo's Bears, but go ahead and give me those Browns at home.
Browns at home, first pick. Luke.
Chris, I feel like you say that every week.
Wow.
I do.
2 Cleveland picks. Chris Connor.
Yeah, Cleveland big. I know Londo's on the. Well, they can still make it, but no. This is. I think Myles Garrett basically destroys the entire offense of Chicago. And credit to Joe Flacco, who has resurrected his career from the dead for a 6th straight time, and now all of a sudden, the Browns could be making noise after everything they've gone through with their quarterbacks. The Browns could be like that sneaky team in the playoffs that could actually go, dare I say, to the AFC Championship game.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
All
That's
right.
blasphemy. Blasphemy.
I
What?
love it.
What?
I love it.
What? Give him the what? 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 What?
You
Wow,
say that.
spot on, man.
Give me one AFC
is
team
spot
right
on.
now, but you look and go, yeah, they're definitely in. I mean, every team has like warts. Chiefs wide receivers can't catch a ball. Jacksonville seems to be, tumbling down like a drunk sailor. Dolphins are a fraud. Ravens, I'm waiting for Lamar Jackson to get hurt again, which he always gets hurt. It's all of a sudden you go, holy crap.
Dolphins
could
get
be
the
that
fraud
sneaky
word, but
team.
Dolphins get the fraud word, but you won't pick the Cowboys over them.
Listen.
Like that is totally
But
disrespectful.
I will say this. What would be the most Cleveland Brown thing to do? Go get the AFC quarterback that has won a Super Bowl in the AFC North and completely flush Deshaun Watson down the toilet for $230 million guaranteed dollars. What a day to be alive.
It's perfect. Londo, who do you have?
Come on. The Bears.
You got the Bears?
He's sticking
The
to
Bears.
it.
The Bears. The Bears.
Yeah,
The
Down the
Bears.
ship.
I'm riding with you, Londo. I got the Bears
At
also.
this
Bears will
point.
win this one. Bears are going
yeah.
for the division. They got to win. Justin Fields time. Take over. All right. Our
Ernest,
next game,
did you really
Tennessee.
pick the Bears?
I did pick the Bears. I got the Bears.
Hell yeah.
Tennessee goes against Houston, and matter of fact, it's the Houston Oilers versus the Houston Texans as Tennessee wears their throwbacks this weekend against Houston. Tennessee Titans 2-point favorites at home. I'll start this one off. I have the Texans winning this game because it is disrespectful to wear those uniforms against the Texans. So taking Houston in the emotional win. Borak.
I'm taking the Titans. No CJ Stroud, no Dalton Schultz.
Is that confirmed though?
No
Is that
Tank
confirmed on
Dell.
Stroud?
I don't know. This is the second week in a row he's had a concussion. I don't know how you can throw him out there.
Okay, well then never mind. I go back to Tennessee if Stroud.
No, here we go.
Don't be,
See?
don't be that guy.
It's not confirmed.
Yeah, you are that guy.
I am going to be that guy. I'm going to take Tennessee then. I thought Stroud was playing. I didn't think that was confirmed. He's out.
I mean,
this
he
week.
hasn't been ruled out. He's questionable. That's
All
just
right,
my
then
own take.
Houston if Stroud plays, Tennessee if he doesn't.
No,
come
that's
on.
not how this works.
Ernest,
Well,
don't
then
be
if
like
you're gonna-
that. Don't be a typical
If you're going to
Dallas
make
guy.
me pick right now, I pick Tennessee.
You make us pick right now.
I know. So I just changed a pick not even a minute
we
ago
should
to
have a what?
Pittsburgh. You
A
guys
what?
had no
That
problem
deserves
with that.
a what right there.
You guys had no problem with me changing to Pittsburgh. And now you have a
Luke,
problem
are you
with my
hearing
Houston
this?
change.
This should be clipped forever.
This is
I'm clipping it.
absolutely my show. Londo.
Give me Houston.
There you go, Londo. You see, Londo will take the L. Luke.
Tighten up.
Yeah, that's a big question mark there. Chris Connor. Houston.
I'm unlike you, Ernest. I'm not going to be a flip flopper here. I'm going Titans It's going to be, once again, Will Levis leading the charge. And dare I say,
I'm okay.
all of a sudden,
Davis Mills.
Will Levis might be a Rookie of the Year candidate.
Stop it. Okay, no, we're not talking about Rookie of the Year anymore. It's over. Chris, stop it.
What?
And you said I'm fucking crazy.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Will Levis is going to win the Rookie of the Year over
No, I
CJ
said
Stroud.
candidate. He's not going to win it, but he's becoming a guy. You're like, hey, he's getting consideration.
What?
Yikes.
Yeah, he can throw a ball.
What?
Let's move on. Fire round. Green Bay Packers 3.5-point favorites against Tampa Bay. Borak.
Packers. Oh man, that whole NFC South is a disaster. Give me the Packers, especially in Green Bay.
Yeah, Packers. It's two bad teams. You're looking, going, okay. Do either of you guys want the playoffs? Do anybody want the playoffs?
Exactly. Luke.
What do you talk? I mean, what do you think, Ernest? Go Pack, go! The script's out, bud. Come on now.
That's right. That's your swing team. I'm sorry. Londo.
Save
I think
us.
I'm going to be a cheesehead and go with the Packers.
That's my boy.
Oh man,
Ernest.
That's my boy.
I got to pick a team that has Bay in the name at this point.
Well, I mean,
I'm going.
Londo's going for the North Sweep, so I mean,
Yep.
the North Sweep.
Green Bay money line ends up on the TCSG guarantee. Going Green Bay all the way around. Wave those fingers and wave them like you just don't care. The ITL pick'em has led us here.
Man.
Baltimore -3.5. Green Bay money line. This does not look good as a debut for TSG guarantee, but who knows?
I went to parlay.
Yikes. This takes us to what I'm doing. Versus Kansas City. Kansas City 9.5-point favorites. The reason it's a snoozer is because it's going to be over after the first quarter. 28-0. It's not even going to be close. Kansas City's going to wallop the New England Patriots as a payback for what happened with the Bills.
Aaron, how many times have you given KC snoozer of the week?
I think this is the third time.
It's like the third time
I
you've
fall
given
asleep.
KC.
I have the best siestas watching Patrick Mahomes play. So give me Kansas City to win and win big. Chris Connor.
Kansas City. The Patriots are they're offensively challenged. They are so bad at times. You go, oh my God, this is a Bill Belichick team. Look, the Chiefs are pissed. They're upset. I think they take care of business this week.
2 Chiefs picks going to Luke.
Chiefs.
And it looks like we have a finger wave recommendation. Londo, are you Chiefs as well?
Like seriously?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Why is this
wave those fingers
so
and wave them in the air like you just don't care. That's a TSG guarantee. Kansas City money line. Do we feel good with 6.5?
Yes.
Yes.
Do we feel good with 9.5?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
No, I gotta know. So we're gonna stick it at 6.5. Green Bay money line, Kansas City -6.5. That takes us to Carolina versus Atlanta. Carolina 3-point favorites at home versus ATL. Go ahead, Chris Connor. Give us your pick.
I got to do it this time. I'm taking the Falcons. It hurts me, but I've given up on the Panthers. I've given up. I'm sorry.
It's a shocker.
Bryce Young is just ruined because of the owner.
What?
So
that's the first time you've not picked the Panthers.
So, are you Bork? Are you gonna put the big? Are you gonna put the big?
He's not picking until the end because he said it's cheating.
Yeah, I can't. On the Falcons game, it's cheating if I pick first.
Yeah,
because
so
then you guys will know who won.
Mm-hmm. Londo,
fuck it, give me the Falcons.
Falcons have 2 picks here. Luke?
Give me the fighting Desmond Ritters.
3 Atlanta picks. Borak, just kidding. I'm taking Atlanta as well. Borak, you're either saving us or you're picking Atlanta.
Can I take the under?
No, you got to pick a
That's a
team.
35.
I'm prepping the light.
So I have yet to pick a Falcons game right this year. And we are all screwed because I'm taking the Falcons.
Wave those fingers in the air. Wave them like you just don't care wherever you're at, sitting listening to this show. Atlanta MoneyLine enters the TSG guarantee. And that takes us to New Orleans.
14 on Falcons games.
Shakes. That sucks.
That's my record.
So
We're in
everybody's going to choose the Falcons, and they're going to get their money back from Steve.
No,
That's what
if
you're
you're
telling me.
listening to this, hammer the
Yeah.
Panthers.
There you go.
Yeah, that's Borak's recommendation. New Orleans Saints 6-point favorites against the G-Men, the Giants. Let's go around the room for this one, Londo.
New Orleans.
New Orleans gets the first pick. Borak.
Saints.
Luke.
Saints.
Chris Connor.
I'm ashamed of you people. You've not gotten the script. It's Giants. And I'm telling you right now, that is what I want for Christmas. I want Sean Stiletto to sign Eric Silva as his client, and that way we can have a new show called The Paisans in Cowboy Land with the new Italian, Ernest Silva, and Sean Stiletto managing your career. It'll be big. You can make money, Ernest.
It sounds big. I am taking New Orleans in the Superdome to win this game. Chris Connor saves us from ourselves on this game. Appreciate you, my man. Miami versus New York Jets. Miami 9-point favorites. Chris Connor, start us off.
Miami. I'm not buying into Zach Wilson just yet. Again. So, yeah, Miami by 9.
Londo.
Wow. Miami, yeah.
Luke.
To cover.
Miami MoneyLine.
I'm taking MIA as well. Borak.
Miami.
That is an ITL or a TSG guarantee. Put those fingers in and wave them like you just don't care. Another one hits the books. Miami MoneyLine, because not even I feel confident about going spread unless you guys want to do 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah? Okay. Miami minus 2.5 hits the books here for us on the TSG guarantee. That takes us to Arizona versus San Francisco. San Fran 14-point favorites on the road. Borak.
49ers. Come on.
Luke.
Niners by 10.
Chris Connor. Just got to make sure, guys.
Niners by 14. They're going to be pissed, and Arizona's just bad.
Oh,
What are
man.
they pissed about?
Yeah, why are
Everybody
they
still is
mad?
writing them off. It's now all of a sudden the Cowboys and Eagles, and the 49ers are just sort of a third team.
Oh, no. The
No,
Cowboys know they're not better than the
I completely
49ers.
disagree. Yeah, I completely disagree with that. I think everybody has said it's Niners to lose this year. I don't think anybody has chosen Dallas or Philly
Yeah,
over them.
Cowboys can't beat the 49ers.
Yeah, we all know that. Okay. Definitely taking the spread, but San Francisco would win this game. But I think it's closer than y'all think.
They should know that.
I'm sorry. Is that you shit talking? What are you saying?
Luke was asking if the Cowboy fans really know that or not.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We know it.
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
Dallas Cowboys at home, different story. But we'll move on. Los Angeles Rams
I didn't
versus
see.
the Washington Commanders. Rams 7-point favorites. This will be the final game that we analyze here on ITL. We'll start around the room. Just Luke.
Give me. Ooh, this is tough because Puka Nakua is hurt. Cooper Kupp did look good last week. Give me the Rams by 1.
All right, Rams getting the pick. Rams are also my pick in this game. You start everybody fantasy in Los Angeles for Washington. Careful with your Robinsons. Careful with your Gibsons, although that's probably a good pickup if Robinson's out again. And Borak.
Rams cover 6.5. Easy.
Chris Connor.
Rams, they're playing for something. Washington is just playing to get their tea times.
And Londo, wrap us up.
Rams.
All right, San Francisco money line, Los Angeles Rams money line, both into the TSG guarantee. Wave those fingers and wave them like you just don't care. And that wraps us up for today. We appreciate you all. Another hour and a half episode of great analysis and fun content. A lot of Dallas Cowboys, a lot of Chicago Bears today. So appreciate you all bearing through that. Let's go around the room and do our outros. And we appreciate the love and support from last week. Again, I appreciate the 90 who lived up to your bets and paid out that Cowboys win. That's much love. And I'll call you guys out by name on next week's show as I'm waiting for the 10th one. I don't want to embarrass them. Borak, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at Clutch City 52 on X. And you can catch me on ITL. Appreciate everybody and good luck to everybody in the fantasy football playoffs and to your teams this weekend.
Yeah, rock them out. Good luck to everybody. Londo.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Londo4292. It's fun being on, and happy football season to y'all. It's going to be great, so I love being on, and hopefully next week I'll be in the studio. Right? So, yeah.
Phenomenal. I hope you are too. I hope we're a lot better here in the household. Just Luke.
Yeah, it was nice joining you guys. I needed a quick break from corporate life, so it was nice getting to talk some sports with you guys. Obviously, you can find me on Twitter at I think it's Hearts2282. You can find me in the championship game in the ITL league. You know, Borak, I'm coming for you.
What?
7, baby. Let's go. Thanks, Ernest. Appreciate it, as always.
Of course, brother. Of course. And Chris Connor, tell the people where they can find you.
You can check me out at thelastcallpodcast.com. We just posted an interview yesterday with the mock draft guy, Pierre Andesani. We're talking quarterbacks, who to watch from the bowl games, who might be, the first offensive tackle taken. We even talked, dare I say, who should be number one. Jane Daniels, maybe you'll get Peter Andesani's talking. Later on, we're going to be having a surprise guest talking about the new PBC on Amazon deal. You can also check me out on twitter.com at Last Call with Chris C, and also on Instagram and Facebook.
Wonderful. As always, sports scientists here for you guys. I appreciate all the love. Appreciate all y'all who watched and appreciate all that listens. We love you guys. Appreciate all the support. I hope you guys have a wonderful and safe holiday season. And good luck with your bets and your fantasy teams this week. Hopefully you guys win some money. Have a good one, guys.